I want to click. There you go.
Yeah,
All right.
man, I made sure to get back quick. I had it set up just so it wouldn't be another stallation.
Yeah, I seen that. That was lightning fast.
Yeah, man, I was prepared. But yeah, as we were saying before, let's hope that they do make that Bivol fight or Beterbiev. I mean, I would love to see Canelo fight Beterbiev at 175. If they
I
make it
want to
at
see.
168, I'm gonna lose it. Beterbiev
I,
can barely make 175, let alone 168.
I wouldn't mind that fight either. But I'll be honest. This is an unpopular opinion. I think Canelo will school Beterbiev if they fight.
I'd favor Canelo at this stage, but I'm going to
Yeah.
tell people this. If this was the Beterbiev the Favazdik, I got Beterbiev stopping him. Too big, too strong. But right now, he's gotten older. He's gotten many injuries. He hasn't been active. Canelo beats him.
There's too much wear and tear on that body, man. We've seen Beterbiev pull out of fights a lot because of injuries in camp. He's 34 years old. He had a long amateur career. And on top of that, most people don't realize this, but because Beterbiev not only knocks people out, but Beterbiev is chinny. He's been dropped before a couple times early in his career.
That's true.
I think Canelo Alvarez is all wrong for him.
Thing is, Canelo got good pop on his shots, but I feel some overrate his power in an aspect. Like, he has good, solid power, but got to keep in mind, Beterbiev so much bigger than Canelo that I feel Canelo, he'll get his respect, but he's not going to be able to knock him out like I feel, like many people feel. In my eyes, I don't see him stopping Beterbiev.
Well, I don't think he has to knock him out. I think Canelo Alvarez, with the way he punches, he's like the highest level of being a puncher before being a one-punch knockout artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got hold on. You got it. Have it. Yeah, he's the highest level of being a puncher before you can say a guy is like a one-punch knockout artist. Because Canelo, just the way he breaks you down and the way he dissects fighters is something. It's masterful at times.
Yeah. For sure. I love that Bivol fight, man, because I feel Bivol is one of the most fundamentally sound fighters in the sport. You watch that jab, you watch his technique. You can tell he's very smart outside of the ring because he's a genius in that ring. I find Bivol very underrated, and I'd pick Bivol to beat Beterbiev right now if they fought on points. I would.
I think Bivol is the best light heavyweight in the world. I
agree.
Actually, for the life of me, I can't understand why that fight hasn't happened.
Because Eddie Hearn, I feel Eddie Hearn, he's been manipulating Dmitry Bivol's career. I like Eddie Hearn. He's my favorite promoter out of all of them. I'm not crazy about any, but I like Eddie Hearn. But I truly feel he's manipulating Bivol's career. Look at him. He put Campbell Hatton higher in a card than he put Bivol. He gave Bivol some weak opposition. I mean, he's giving him guys that he's going to get no credit for beating, and he's putting him on undercards. How come Bivol hasn't headlined the fight in recent years? He's good enough to, So
he's more than good enough to. He should be. Yeah, it's a slap in the face. I remember like early in Bivol's career when he was I think he's still somewhat affiliated with Main Events and Kathy Duva somehow.
Mm-hmm. I think he is.
I remember early in his career before Pernell Whitaker passed away. I think Pernell Whitaker went to one of his fights and he said, "This guy has all the potential in the world to go all the way and be the pound-for-pound best fighter." And he hasn't been treated like it at all, like at all. He's fighting Craig Richards. His last fight was against Craig Richards. Craig Richards? Yeah. I remember watching Craig Richards fight. I can't remember what card it was. I remember he fought a guy named Andre Sterling, and he was lucky to get out of that fight with a decision.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, honestly, Eddie Hearn, man. And my main issue, though, with Bivol is I feel he's such a good fighter, but there's things he can take his skills to the next level, and he can take these guys out of there. He has good thought on his shots, but I feel he coasts in his fights, and I'm worried if he fights Canelo, if he coasts, he's not getting a decision. We know that.
It's probably one of those things where like it's kind of the same thing you could say for Demetrius Andrade.
Mm-hmm.
He's so far above the level of competition he's fighting that he doesn't have to dig into his skill set and show the extra bit of quality to beat these guys. He can fight the jab darted, come out, jab, and control the fight with his jab alone. He don't even need anything else but a jab and footwork, and he wins the fight.
That's true. That is definitely true. And, with Dmitry Bivol, man, when he fought Sullivan Barrera, a fight many people were picking Barrera to beat him in. When he fought Joe Smith, who's a champion now, we saw him do different things in those fights. He hurt Joe Smith. Joe Smith's tough as nails. I've never seen anyone hurt Joe Smith. Bivol had him out on his feet. So, my main thing, actually, something that really got on my nerves that Eddie Hearn did recently, he made an offer for Daniel Jacobs of Joe Smith. Now, why couldn't he do Bivol for Beterbiev? It's the Zone ESPN. Why couldn't he do Bivol Beterbiev? Why couldn't he make an offer to Artur Beterbiev for Dmitry Bivol?
I don't know, man. He probably has some sort of convoluted agenda. He's trying to
some scheme. We know Eddie Hearn's scheming.
Because the way a lot of these promoters work is like, we're looking at it as like, okay, we want to see the best two fighters in the light heavyweight division, but Eddie Hearn's probably looking at it as he's going to use Bivol as a pawn for something.
Yeah.
Whether it's Canelo or another fighter,
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man.
That's how they work.
But Bivol, man, he's so talented, man. I'm telling you this right now. If he could go down to 168 and stay the fighter he is and not be drained, he beats Benavidez, he beats Caleb Plant, he beats Callum Smith, he beats Billy Joe, he beats all those guys. The only one that I'm not sure he'd beat would be Canelo.
It's high praise. It's really high praise.
Because I really do believe in Bivol. I've seen him do things in that ring. The amount of IQ, man, it's so high.
What specifically? What do you think is his most special quality in the boxing ring from your perspective?
As I said, I really believe it's his fundamentals, his basic fundamentals, the jab, the follow-up shots, the punch placement, the accuracy, the game plans, He's very smart in that ring, man. You can see it. Who reminds me of Dmitry Bivol to an extent when it comes to his brains in the ring? Up-and-comer Xander Zayas. He's fully aware in that ring. He knows what's going on. He's controlling the pace, controlling the rhythm. That's why I rank Xander so high, because I see
that's
IQ.
High praise for Xander. That's extremely high praise for Xander.
I believe in him, man. I really do.
Yeah. I like Xander too. I'm rooting for him as well because he's from our area.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're close to him because were you training at Davey Powell when he was there?
I sparred Xander before a couple times. He went light, obviously, because he's 4 or 5 years older. But I've sparred Xander before. It was when I threw a punch, man. He didn't even have to use his head. The way he blocked shots, it's hard to describe it, but the way he used his arms to block shots was so professional at such a young age, man. It was crazy, man. He was 14, 15 years old, and he was leading adults, man. He was the leader of the pack while being 14, 15 years old, while grown men were following his instructions, following his lead.
Yeah, I believe it. I remember I remember 3 or 4 years ago when I used to go to Davey Powell to go do interviews and stuff. There's a video actually. I gotta post it on Instagram one day. There's a video. I'm standing in front of the box ring talking about something, and you can see this little short Xander Zayas with green hair. He looks at me and sizes me up in the background.
Yeah, man. He really was, a top amateur, man. So yeah. I got faith in him. But yeah, that's what I like about Bivol, man. It's hard to describe, but he's just very smart in that ring. That's the simplest way I'd put it. He's very smart in that ring.
Instincts. He got very good instincts. Yeah, that's probably what I would say is his best quality is his instincts. Yeah, he knows he understands when to move, what punch to throw at a certain time. His feel for the fight.
Exactly. That's why I'd love to see him fight Beterbiev, because Beterbiev's the opposite. He just goes in. Obviously it's fundamentals as well, but his style is to hurt his opponent. While Bivol is the opposite.
He's trying to punish you.
He's trying to hurt you. Yeah, that's why I find that fight fascinating, and it's a fight we deserve to get as fans, but we will highly unlikely get it. And if we get it, better be in Russia, man. That'd be crazy.
It would be crazy, but it probably doesn't make. Well, in America at least, it probably won't make a lot of money in America. That's probably why it hasn't happened yet. But I mean, if them two don't fight, who else is gonna fight in the light heavyweight division? Yeah. The light heavyweight division right now is trash. It's in shambles.
It's weak. It's a lot weaker than it was a couple years ago. I'll say that much. Light heavyweight was never a great division, but I found it really intriguing when Vosdik was still there, when Kovalev was still an elite fighter, when Adonis Stevenson was still a champion. At this point, it's weak. You got Beterbiev, you got Bivol, you got Canelo, who might go up, might not. Joe Smith's a good fighter, but he's not on the level of Beterbiev or Bivol. We saw what Bivol did to him. Beterbiev would stop him as well, in my eyes.
I think the Beterbiev Joe Smith fight's actually a competitive fight.
I do think it is competitive. I just don't see him winning.
I think Joe could hurt him.
If he catches him with one of those nice overhand shots he landed on Vlasov, it could be interesting. But I don't see him winning. I see Beterbiev being too strong, being too physical, getting him out of there. But that's a fight we deserve to get, and of course we don't get it. If they want ESPN versus ESPN fight.
If they can't make Bivol versus Beterbiev, then that would be the next best thing.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Because we know Bivol schools Joe Smith again. We know Bivol would beat Smith again. So make Beterbiev Smith. Why not?
Yeah. Let me see. We got a couple comments. We got my guy, Fight News. He says,
Salute to Fight News. I see him on Twitter. Cool dude. Salute to him.
Very cool guy. I think Beterbiev beats Bivol, and then he said that it's something about those glancing shots from Beterbiev. His power is dangerous for 12 rounds. Yeah, he don't gotta land flush.
He doesn't have to. He rarely does, actually. A lot of his shots, get around the guard and slide off the face or, skin the temple, but he's still hurting guys, man.
Get the smoke. He says Beterbiev needs to fight so he can see what he looks like. He's been inactive. I mean, that's been the case his whole career.
Yeah, he's been inactive. You know what Go ahead. I'll go ahead after. Go ahead.
When he was Al Heyman fighter, he was inactive. When he's a Bob Arum fighter, he's inactive. That hasn't changed.
I feel bad for Beterbiev because he was moved kind of similarly to how Lomachenko and Inouye have been moved throughout their careers when it comes to his opposition early on. And if he didn't get injured as much and had the activity, this guy could have truly been a top 3 pound-for-pound guy. I really believe it. If he was matched up right, because he had the ability, and in his prime, if he got those fights and wasn't getting injured all the time, man, could have been interesting. It's unfortunate. At least he got to be a unified champion.
Yeah, man. And, people can say what they want, but he's the only active world champion with a 100% knockout ratio.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Not Wilder, not Tank. It's Beterbiev.
Not Inouye, no one.
Not
yeah.
Inouye, nobody. Not Crawford, nobody.
None. Yeah, but let's see.
Max, he said Beterbiev had a lot. Didn't he have a lawsuit with Yvonne Michelle?
I don't even know about that situation. I did hear there were some disputes with Yvonne Michelle. Seems like every fighter that was with them had some issues at one point, so that could have definitely played a part. But I don't know about that situation. I do know Beterbiev has gotten injured plenty of times, unfortunately so, which is why I favor Canelo now. I feel Beterbiev's as you said before, too much damage to the body, too much inactivity, and he's older,
If this fight would have happened in 2019,